A lot of international entrepreneurs, they underestimate how important the applicant actually is for Chinese startup competitions. The applicant can make or break the deal. You can either succeed through this or you just fail. We had startups that applied twice to one competition. One year, one applicant, the other year, another applicant. And we figured out that it is extremely important who applies and the background of the applicant. Some startups, they choose to let an intern or a manager apply to the competition. But the problem here is that they do not have the relevant background to get through the entire process. What Chinese startup competitions usually want to see is the CEO or at least C-level applicants that have a substantial amount of equity in the startup. There are certain startup competitions, usually most of the competitions, they require at least 30% of equity in the startup. Not at this time, but usually in the process of the establishment of the startup, you should have had at one point 30% of equity. There are some competitions that do not require this. We usually highlight this in the process of supporting you to get through the startup competition, but these competitions are usually rare. And sometimes it's not really important that the CEO applies, because if your education background is not top-notch, so you don't have a master degree or a PhD, then maybe another person of your business should apply to the competition. Because usually the higher the degree, the better the chances of getting through. So if you have someone in your team that you can trust with the establishment of the entity in China, then you could choose a PhD manager in your company to apply to this competition. Also, please be aware that the applicant has to usually pitch through the entire process of the competition, which is usually the preliminary round, the semifinals, the final. And usually you also have to come to China to receive the prize. So education background is extremely important. The amount of equity in the startup is extremely important. And also the relevant background is important. So if you're in biotech, but you do not have a biotech background, so you don't have a university degree in this, then it's very hard for you to get through. One plus that you can do is if you have a Chinese team member, you can let them apply to the competition, because then usually the trust of the judges of you succeeding in the Chinese market is also higher. But if you don't have that, that's not a problem. Usually choose the one with the highest university degree and with the highest amount of shares, and make sure that this person can be and will be in China if you win a good amount and if you can come to China. If you want to increase your chances of winning at a Chinese startup competition, reach out to us. We have helped thousands of startups to land substantial winning prizes from all different regions of the world. Subscribe to the channel to get more updates. Give us a like if you also liked the content of the video. And if you want to get support in your next application, just write in the comments and we will reach out to you. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.